Hey, hey, Wedding Confessionals listeners. Did you like that intro, Pam?
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
It's a new intro.
Yeah, why not? It's Brooke.
And Pam. I forgot my name for a second.
I know. So we are just coming in to tell you that this is a two-parter.
Yeah.
This is just Confessionals.
It is.
So if you want to hear all about Julia's wedding, you need to go back an episode, which you should because, man, it's good.
It is.
Julia's wedding is interesting.
It was a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She had a little bit of a weather snafu, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of bridal party drama.
Yes.
And she had a lot of love and it was really cute. And more importantly, she had tons and tons of crafting and DIY for days.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, so definitely want to go back. But if you've already heard that, then stay tuned now because this is part 2 where we get into Confessionals with Julia.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Something borrowed, something blue. Give us all your juicy news, sensational, irrational. It's Wedding Confessionals.
Oh man, that's a great way to end. Cake.
Yes. Yep. I like it.
Well, I definitely want to get into Confessionals now because clearly we know everything about Julia's love of weddings. And cake.
And cake.
Which is a good part of weddings. Ugh, who doesn't love cake?
I love cake.
I love cake.
I love cake.
Pammy, do you want to get into Confessionals?
Let's do it.
Yeah. You want to read number 1? Yeah.
Holy cow.
You chose it. Oh my
Aye.
God. This is, guys, this
All
is
right.
the longest confessional
We've ever had. Yes.
Buckle up, settle in. It's going to be a minute. Pamela, take the wheel.
I hope I can do this. Hello, Pam, Brooke, Ruth, and this episode's very special guest.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah.
Julia.
Been listening for about a year now since my wedding planning started end of 2017. Love your podcast mainly due to the fact that it's a glorious distraction from the little annoyances of life and wedding planning. And
Agreed.
I apologize now. It's a long one. Sorry, Brooke.
As long as I don't have to read it, I'm fine with it.
She's happy.
I like lots of details. I like lots of emotions. Let's get in.
All right, let's find out. So here's my rant. Yes. Brooke is already in. My wonderful fiance and I have been dating for about over 3 years when he proposed to me right before Christmas of 2017. He proposed, I cried, said yes, amazing. Much sweeter and more to it than that. But remember, this is a long email. We were very happy to spread the news to our families. We began planning in January of this year and had decided on our date for mid-November, shortly after the planning began. Planning was going well and things were lining up, deposits down, venues booked. I was also busy helping one of my bridesmaids get married 2.5 months before me. I was a bridesmaid in her wedding also. Note, we planned in tandem and always made sure that no one took any glory from the other person.
This is good. What happens? Why is she writing us?
Yes, keep track of that.
Okay.
Then in April of this year, my cousin, let's call her Anne, who I'm very close with, and her SO got engaged as well. I was very happy for her and wish her nothing but the best, but flashback to our engagement when we told my side of the family. My cousin Anne was very happy and showed a lot of excitement for our news. Her significant other, not so much. Never said congratulations or even acknowledged the engagement for some time. Weird, but we were in our happy bubble and didn't think anything about it at the time. But it started to become clear that it was possible that the SO wanted to propose around the same time my partner and myself got engaged. Just an observation, no idea if that's actually true. When they got engaged, Anne contacted me to check when our date was going to be. She said that they were looking this fall or spring of next year. I gave her the date and thought that that would be fine since she stated she was looking more towards spring anyway, since they had only gotten engaged in April and needed more time. Next thing I know, I hear through our family that they had picked a date, 35 days after our wedding date. Okay, that's fine. I'm sure that they thought this through and had a reason, especially since our family, Anne and mine, is rather large and a few family members live several states away. This was going to mean either that they need to choose a wedding or shell out the cash in time to come to both almost a month apart. I know not to assume anything about people and their finances / availability, because that would be rude, but I just didn't want them to be put in that position. So let the shadow games begin. We sent out our save the dates. They sent theirs out a week later. Great. My girls and I schedule my shower. Her shower is a week after mine. Yay. Sent out our invitations 8 weeks before the wedding per the unwritten every blog posted it rule. Theirs came in the mail 2 days later. WTF. P.S. We requested RSVPs back 30 days before our wedding. They're requesting theirs almost 2 months before theirs. So if you're doing the math right, our RSVPs are due 3 days before the due date of theirs. I know it's petty and I don't want to be selfish. I want to have my time as a bride feel special and our day to be the spotlight. But as my fiance put it, it feels like they keep wanting to steal our thunder. If the roles were reversed, I feel I would have been more considerate of the plans and special day for her. With my bridesmaid from earlier, we continue to check on each other as not to step on any toes. I would have looked into a different time of year. We were also looking to fall or spring next year also. Or I would have at least been checking in on their timeline so I won't send my invite out 2 days after they send theirs or have my shower right at the same time she was. I feel like one of two things are to blame. Either she/they are ignorant to anyone or anything else, and they're just planning their day without the slightest bit of thought on this might involving sharing the spotlight, or they're doing this on purpose as a potential act of revenge for getting engaged around the time he wanted to propose to Anne and somehow try and one-up us every step of the way. I know I need to just focus on what is happening with my fiancé and myself and focus on our day and our future together. I'm so excited to marry the love of my life and start forever together. It just feels like the echo never ends. Would love some advice on how to block out the little monster that keeps saying she/they are doing this on purpose. Keep the podcast episodes coming, and the bridal breaks rocks. Emphasis on the boozy breaks. Bless you, Pam. Sincerely, is there an echo in here?
Oh. Interesting. So she has a bridesmaid who's a friend of hers that's getting married before she's getting married.
Yes.
But they've been in cahoots the whole time about timing.
Yes.
And there's the cousin who's getting married after her, and they are not in cahoots about timing.
Yes.
That is the boiled down version of what I'm hearing, correct?
Yes. Yep. I think all that's true.
And she's annoyed / kind of growing insane from the cousin that's not checking in with her.
Because everything's a little close.
I mean,
my gut says she's ignorant. I think that, I don't think she's doing it on purpose. I think that would take too much brain power to plan a wedding and also revenge at the same time. Not that it couldn't happen, but I really feel that she just is like blindly not realizing the effect that this is having on you.
Julia?
I think I agree with that. I think it's definitely like an irritation, but having planned a wedding myself, I was kind of unaware of everything else going on at that time. So, you kind of like put your blinders up as far as your scheduling goes. So I can definitely see and if their wedding is only 35 days different from the cousins, then it makes sense that the timelines of the invitation mailing and showers and everything would be pretty parallel too. That's not to say it's not annoying, but like every blog says, mail out the invitations 8 weeks in advance. I think we sent ours 4 months because I can't just, have them sitting there.
Well, also you had international travelers, so that's understandable.
You got to give a little more time for that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, first of all, the one thing she said about did the cousin's fiance kind of miffed when you guys got engaged because he was thinking about proposing? That actually might have been true.
Yeah,
There's a good chance he had a ring in his pocket and was like, oh, I want her to feel special. I'm going to hold off. So him kind of showing his cards a little bit emotionally to you, I don't think that you're wrong. There is a chance of that. And
yeah, I think
also,
you may have gotten that one right.
And that also kind of is a good thing because that can kind of gives you an explanation about why he had that sort of reaction to it. Doesn't mean he doesn't like you. He's just like personally is going through his own stuff. And I feel like in all of this, it feels like everyone has their own lives. And I know this sounds like annoying to say to you, and I'm not saying that you're a selfish person at all, because I think that for the most part, you've been very gracious and you're not trying to start a fight. You're just kind of having these internal thoughts.
Yeah.
You're talking it out with your fiance, which I think is really healthy.
She's venting to us.
Yes, you're venting to us. Like, you're doing what you can. You can't help your emotions. You can't
Yes.
help your actions. I think you're doing the right thing. But I think we all sometimes fall guilty to the idea that we understand that we are the leads in our story about our lives. But everyone else is not secondary characters. They're the leads in their own stories. So there's somewhere this cousin is having this really big moment in her life. This is big. She's getting married.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like that feeling that you had when you got proposed to and you started planning your wedding and it felt like overwhelming and oh my God, and this is amazing and I'm getting married and this feels so grown up. She's having those exact same feelings. And
True.
I feel like Julie was saying, you do get locked up in so much of your own stuff because it's a lot and it's overwhelming and you've never done it before. Unless you're getting married for the second or third time, it's all new. Like, it's very different between like helping a friend or watching your sister get married than when it's you. It's a lot. So maybe she is kind of throwing a little bit of timing faux pas at you that feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's being a jerk.
No.
I
wonder if
Go ahead.
there's like a neutral family member that knows both cousins and maybe could, like wouldn't necessarily voice any concerns to the cousin, but maybe you could approach another family member that knows both of you and say, hey, have you noticed like a lot of these timelines are matching up? And I'm a little bothered by it, but I'm trying not to overreact. What do you think? And then they could say, Anne is just like in the same place you are and just trying to get everything done. And then you're absolved of that feeling.
Yeah.
You don't have to wonder.
Pick a family member that's not a gossip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choose your family member wisely.
Right. Not somebody with loose lips.
No.
But yeah, the other thing I was thinking is that I think on other podcasts we've talked about before where there was somebody that was a friend that they felt like they kept kind of copycatting them in life. Remember, it was like a car and like apartments and stuff like that, where I feel like sometimes there are people in your life that you sort of use as like your pace car, where there's just like, oh, that's a really good point. That person is doing this thing in their life. I should maybe start to reevaluate. Like maybe it's time for me to do fill in the blank. And I wonder if every time, especially like getting an invite in the mail or getting some notification, if that's her moment of being like, oh shit, I got to get that done soon. You know what I mean? Like maybe you are inadvertently, in not a mean way, but you are kind of the reminder of her of like, oh, I have to send out this RSVP thing. I have to do my shower soon. I have to do this. You know what I mean?
Well, and I mean,
especially if she's got that compressed timeline.
Yeah, that's a short
April to
turnaround.
Yeah, it
November.
is.
Or December.
Also,
That's
if
tough.
they, if they're close, but maybe she's closer to that friend, so it made more sense that they were checking in with each other all the time. Whereas a cousin, you may see less frequently or talk less frequently. So I don't think it's malicious at all. I think that it's just, focus on your amazing wedding that's probably happening pretty soon.
Yeah, it sounds like it. The only other thing I can say to help your mind kind of spin this a little bit is that sometimes it's easy to make somebody a villain when you don't see them, but it's easier to kind of make somebody very human if they're in your presence and you get to actually see them, and all of a sudden all of that sort of dissolves and they become a little bit more, you're more compassionate towards them. I wonder if maybe... I mean, if you're up to it, if you're not, don't. If it's going to feel fake, don't do this. But if you wanted to, I don't know how close she is physically to you, but if you could go out for coffee or go out to have a drink with her or have her over and just the two of you bitch about how annoying it is being a bride and all the things that you're stressed out about and kind of have a fun night of like, it's kind of like people when they're both pregnant at the same time, they get together and they talk about what it's like, right, Pam? I mean, I've never been pregnant, but Pam will tell you, right?
Yeah.
But that's one of the things you do, right?
Yeah, definitely. No, that definitely helps to vent with that person because you are going through it at the same time.
Yeah, and you have that person in your bridesmaid / friend, but I wonder, you know, if it would be fun for you to sort of reach out to her if you're in a mental space where you want to do this. If it's going to feel fake and weird, don't. But if you feel comfortable enough, if you could go have a glass of wine with her or have her over and like just have a fun night, just the two of you, it might kind of help take that competitive side or that feeling of like you're kind of doing things wrong and kind of humanize her a little bit, and that might help.
Yeah.
I get it. Sometimes people do things that just annoy you. It
True.
happens.
Yep.
You're not crazy. It's just like, you know what I mean? There are plenty of times where someone does something and you're like, ugh. And you're a smart gal for not really ruffling feathers over it. You're doing all the right things.
Doing the right thing.
But if you're trying to
100%.
find, I think you were asking us for advice on things that you can do to kind of have your mind stop doing this. That's one of the suggestions I give,
I like
is to
it.
humanize her a little bit.
I like it.
I mean, wine helps.
Absolutely.
Always.
And also, if this is the worst thing that's happening in the wedding planning, you're doing great.
You're doing fantastic.
It sounds like you have no issues with in-laws. You have no issues with your family. You're getting along great with your husband-to-be. You've got a supportive bridesmaid, even though you guys don't have a weird competitive thing going on. Like, things are going really well for you. You found a great podcast to listen to.
You've got your venue. Oh, Brooke.
Yeah, you're great. I think another way of a mind trick is really to focus on the positive, because it sounds like you have a lot of shit going for you. And let us know how it goes.
Yes.
As we're doing episodes.
Yes. Give us a follow-up, please.
Full episodes talking about the follow-up. So please send us more, because I am nosy. Number 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Brooke, you're up.
It is short. Thank you, Pammy. 2
Welcome.
paragraphs. You know how to treat a girl right. Dear Wedding Confessionals, my future mother-in-law is driving me freaking nuts. Ever since we got engaged in March, she has been a complete negative Nancy. She criticized everything from my ring to what we want in a photographer to how we want to do our flowers. It's getting ridiculous. She's acting as if this is her wedding, and I think that's mainly because her wedding was in the 80s and was a disaster.
Oh,
God.
dear.
She's also been complaining that we're spending too much money on this wedding. My family isn't able to help us with the cost due to financial reasons. My fiance and I have no problem with this, but his mother won't leave it alone and keeps complaining that we shouldn't be paying for any of this. However, she hasn't offered to help at all and won't leave it alone. It's driving me bonkers. Please tell me how to deal with this crazy woman. Thanks, Annoyed Bride.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
I was just talking about how you don't have problems with in-laws, blah, 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 to that last bride. And this one's like,
This one,
you do.
you got problems.
Ugh.
You got
You
problems.
do. I mean, listen, having a mother-in-law that you don't see eye to eye with is not new. You're not alone. Know that from the get-go.
Yes.
You were in a...
Watch any Hallmark movie, right?
Yes, honestly,
Yes.
it's not unheard of. She clearly likes to voice her opinions. She probably shouldn't.
No,
but
she definitely
She
shouldn't.
is. So how shall we deal with this situation? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, we've discussed this a few times, and one of the things that we have suggested is for the fiance to have a conversation with his mom. This is definitely not your conversation with her. You have to keep
Agreed.
a smile
I
on your
agree
face
wholeheartedly.
and just keep taking it as much as it sucks. One thing that like really struck me as you were reading this, Brooke, is that she criticized the ring. I'm like, that's your son. He picked that one.
Yeah.
Maybe
but
there's
anyways.
an issue there that needs to be resolved. Like, you know,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
it's between the fiance and his mother rather than really having to do with the mother-in-law's opinions on the wedding. You know, maybe
Yeah.
there's a communication default that's not going as smoothly as it could. And maybe
Yeah.
I think this is definitely his conversation to have and not something that you want to get involved with, because in-law politics only get more complicated after the wedding. And these people, not only are they not going to go away after the day, but they are your family now. and now everything is, there's no real way to like mess stuff up and then wash your hands of it. So I think peacekeeping is the primary goal here. And, when she makes comments, maybe there's something there that you could take into account, like only from a budgetary perspective, because I lost my job and then smashed my car. And then about a couple weeks after that, Karen got really sick, and we have medical bills from that are like way beyond our wedding budget. So like, if she's speaking budget and it's your money that you're spending, don't totally write that off, because you never know what's going to happen after you walk down the aisle.
Yeah.
And then you have to actually deal with that stuff. There's no more like fun, crafty projects to take your mind off of your financial woes. They're there.
Yeah.
But there's no real excuse for her to be criticizing everything either. So that's why I think maybe this is not the conversation that you want to be involved with. Maybe pass this along to your fiance. Have him sit down with his mother and see if they can reach some kind of agreement where, like, we can limit the criticism, but maybe understand that, like, if this really is coming from a place of regret, like her wedding didn't go the way she wanted to, and now there's this fun new one coming along that she can give her opinions on, find a way to reconcile that and include her, but like through her son, rather than her dumping all of her thoughts directly onto the stressed out bride.
I was going to mention that as well. I think that's a really good point where, maybe there's something that you can bring her in, because if hers really was a disaster, maybe having that conversation, being like, well, is there something you would have done differently from your wedding, or, from bride to bride, and, just get a tip and just make her feel involved maybe in that kind of safe zone. You don't necessarily have to take it what she says, but
you can
the gesture
and then do whatever you want.
Yes, exactly.
But take it, make her feel like she's involved in it.
Yeah, maybe she's passive aggressively talking about money because she just wants to be involved in some way. So that's all she knows to be involved in. Yeah, I think you guys are totally hitting the nail on the head that it has to be a conversation that your fiance has and not you.
Yep.
The only other thing I was thinking is that, and I know this sounds easy to say because I'm not in it and this isn't my life and this isn't my wedding, but you can't always control what people do or what's happening, but you can always control sort of your attitude about everything. And you can make the decision at any point to not give a shit about what she thinks. There are going to be people that have opinions about your life forever. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of how this works. And if this lady's going to always have opinions, and this might be the beginning of your long-term relationship with her. Maybe this is just what she does. She likes being vocal. She likes sort of pushing her opinions around. And you just kind of roll your eyes like, yeah, my mother-in-law is kind of a know-it-all, whatever. You know what I mean? It's hard now because this is kind of new. This is probably the first time you're really having to see her really insert her opinions into your life, into your money, into your choices.
Yeah.
And how hard that is. But I think that you also have control about just genuinely being like, I don't care what she fucking thinks. You know what I mean? You do. You have control over how you think, and you can just be like, she's an idiot. She doesn't know anything, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she has dumb opinions. The other great thing about this is that one day you're going to get married, and then this topic goes away. You know what I mean?
Well,
it might stick
until
around
you have
for a
kids.
little. Right. And then
they could pop their ugly head.
And then there are
back in.
infinitely more opinions.
Yes. Which, again, you're going to get people that have opinions about your choices always.
Always.
It's just how life works. Some people are more vocal than others. You have to just stay true. The good thing is it sounds like you and your fiance are on the same page and you believe the choices you're making are right. So I think stay true to what you think is right. It sounds like you're thinking about a budget. You're very conscious of the fact that you're not trying to swindle your parents into spending more money than they have. Like, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I think that you're already doing the right thing. Just like, screw her.
That's good advice.
I mean, the thing is that the easiest way, you can't fight with her. You really can't. You don't want to start a war with her. You don't want to start any sort of like back and forth with her. You don't want to, this is someone's going to be in your life for a long time. So if you need to start now mentally dealing with the fact that she's always going to have dumb opinions and that's her opinion and whatever, As long as she's not pushing the opinions to the point that it's changing your fiance's mind and it's like altering your life, then let her have her loud mouth. She looks like an idiot. No one else agrees with her. Right?
True.
Yeah, that's on her. You look great. She looks like a dummy. You know she loved hearing that.
Yes. Love it.
So, yeah, you're great. She's a dummy. I think we've answered the question.
Yes. That one we got to.
All right, Julia, do you want to do number 3?
Absolutely. Okay. Dear Ruthie and others, I need some advice.
Ruthie's on my lap right now.
Yeah.
I hear her back there, and my little cat over here is just absolutely distraught that the door is closed.
Oh.
Here,
Do you
the
let him
podcast
out?
listeners
Oh.
can't see, but there she is.
Oh, hi, kitty.
Poor thing.
That's right, because your kitty looks like my kitty. We have like the same gray and white little white paws and everything. It's great. Little doppelgangers. Sorry. Rude.
She's batting a chapstick around now. She's doing okay.
Yeah, she's great.
So, dear Ruthie and others, we'll include Mochi in that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
I need some advice. My best friend from college is getting married in March 2019 to her boyfriend of 8 years. They are high school sweethearts, and her fiance is the sweetest. My husband does not like her, and here's why. She has been cheating on her fiance since they started dating. Ooh.
Whoa.
She claims she loves her fiance, and she wants to marry him, but she just likes the attention of other guys. I want to be a good friend, but I don't know how. I have told her time and time again that she needs to stop, and she says that she will, but never does. I feel horrible for her fiancé because he is so sweet to her. What should I do? Should I keep her secret? Should I tell her fiancé and ruin their relationship? I will take suggestions and advice. Sincerely, I'm best friends with the cheater. Boy, howdy. That sucks.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
My hands are like over my head because I don't even. This is a dilemma.
This is a real, honest to goodness wedding confessional.
Ruth has left the room.
She was not a fan.
This is too much for her.
She felt the
boy.
tension rise and she was like,
She's
I have to go.
Peace out.
Oh my God. Okay, so her best friend, the bride, right? It's a bride-groom situation.
Yes.
Okay, so she's best friends with the bride, and the bride has been cheating on the groom. It sounds like their entire relationship up till
8 years.
this point. Wow, that's a long time. And he doesn't know. Are we sure he doesn't know? Is it like an open relationship thing? That's not that, right?
I mean,
I
it
feel
doesn't
like-
say that. It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
But that's a long time to go without knowing. Right?
It is.
That's a long time to go without knowing. Does he just know and he's fine with it?
It could be.
Well, in that case, if he finds out, it's not going to ruin anything. You know?
That's a good point. Ooh, okay. Here's the
I don't
thing.
know that there's a lot to ruin there because I don't know. I mean, gosh, the thought of like ending an engagement, having just gone through a wedding, like, oh my gosh, if that had happened to Karen and I, that would have been so awful. But she is the bride that is cheating is clearly lacking something that she needs from her fiance. You know,
Yeah.
if she says that she's needing this attention from other guys, then she's missing something with him. And if it's going to work out at all, they're going to have to reconcile that. And if it doesn't happen before the wedding, then it's only going to be put off for later. And it's just so much harder, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's also, I get really wary. There are times where it works out where somebody meets somebody super duper young and they grow together as they age and everyone kind of stays, you know, in the same path and it works out. But to be high school sweethearts and then 8 years later, you know, to be the same people, it's just, sometimes you just aren't, you know?
Sounds like she's sowing her oats while she's dating and engaged.
Yeah. Oh.
So that makes me think maybe he's not. Maybe he doesn't know.
Guys, I don't know how to answer this.
I know.
Oh
I know.
my God.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, if she
God.
says something, to
Yeah,
the
let's
guy.
weigh the options, or your two things. One thing is not saying something and just kind of letting somebody have their relationship, and it's technically none of your business, and you don't know what happens behind closed doors, and you know what everyone's expectations are, and that's something.
That's something.
But the downside there is that when this eventually comes to light, and chances are it will, and then, you know, if this guy is, you know, finds out that
Everybody knew.
Yeah.
Oh.
And especially that his wife or fiance's best friend knew all along, that would really sting.
If you were to tell her fiance, you have to accept that your friendship with her will probably be over.
Yeah.
100%. But is this a relationship that you want to have? You really need to think about this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, this girl, not that she's not great, but she clearly is, you know, maybe in a different position or situation, you know. I don't know. That would be really hard, I think, for me to just sit back and be okay with.
Yeah. So we've given her kind of the two options of, you know, if you don't do something, like it's none of, you know, you can say that it's none of your business. You like, that's your choice. And there are plenty of people where like that's kind of their stance,
Sure.
and that's, you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
And the other people that take the other stance of like, I need to speak up. I feel like it's only right. I have this information. I have to speak up. So it really is kind of up to you. I know that sounds a really corny thing to say, but I think in the odds of kind of, or not odds, but just like in the way of kind of helping you, I'm just kind of curious. We are giving you the two options, right, of what you should do. And you know that they are. You kind of have to just go with your gut and go with what you think is more important to you and what long-term kind of works for your heart. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but this is your relationship and your
psyche
and your gut. Yeah. Like if you feel like you're carrying around this like horrible secret and you feel like you're damaging this person and it's really like hurting you. I mean, it's like that might be a part of it. But I'm wondering, between the three of us, just curious, if you were in her position, what would you do?
Julia, you go first.
Oh boy.
This feels like a game of truth or dare. My heart is pounding.
I think I'd talk to her first. And I mean, clearly there's already been a conversation about like, you really have to stop this. This isn't fair. And she says that she'll stop and then doesn't. So, you know, leading up to a wedding, there's kind of, I don't want to say a deadline on it, but like there kind of is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the hard but right thing to do in my mind would be talk to her first and say, you know, this isn't right. You need to come clean to him. And if you don't by X time or X milestone in wedding planning, then I, as your like best friend and as someone who has seen this go on for so long, I have to speak up to him. You know?
Yeah.
Like maybe give her the option first, you know, don't go like behind her back, because then maybe if this relationship falls through, if the marriage doesn't have everything there falls apart, and maybe, you know, it will or it should, because there's something there that's missing, but maybe that gives a grounds for healing for her friendship if time and space and, you know, if everything works out for that to want to happen. Because I don't think if she just goes around her friend straight to the fiance, I think she's absolutely ruined any chance of repairing a friendship later if she wants, and if the bride wants. But by maybe giving her the option to come clean first before you step in, I don't know. I think that, to me, that would be the better way to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Pam, you want me to go for it?
No,
next,
I got
you want to go?
I got this. So for me, I would do basically the same thing. I would have the conversation with her, but for me and how I deal with people, like if she didn't, marriage is such an adult responsibility and she's acting very childish. So to me, that says she's not ready.
She's not ready.
She's not ready. So I don't know that I would be able to respect her if she didn't fix this one way or another. Like, she needs to either repair this relationship with her fiance and see how that goes, or she needs to cut it off. And for me, I know that if she didn't fix it and she just went ahead and got married, I don't know that I could go to that wedding and support that. Like, that's not me. And I just would have to be like, listen, you do what you got to do, but this is, I can't keep being your co-pilot on this journey with you acting like this, because you're about to get married. So
That's honestly very similar to my answer.
really,
My answer, the way that I would handle it personally, I would go directly to my friend and I'd be like, this is bullshit. And if this is how you're going to live your life, then you're living a life as a liar and we cannot be friends.
yeah.
Like, what else are you lying about? That's would be my thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
That's a pretty big thing.
and just to watch you deceive and hurt someone, I just think would be, I don't know how I would remain friends. Like,
Yeah.
it's one thing when you're 19 and you cheat on your boyfriend and we're dumb and young and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you're a grown adult who's getting married
Yeah.
to someone.
Yep.
And I'd be like, you're too old for this. This is not okay. And you're better than this, and fix it. And if you don't, then like, I'm not going to watch this. I'm not going to
Yeah.
be a part of this. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd be able to like confront the boyfriend and be like, this is what's going on. But I definitely think that my relationship with that friend would be done.
Yeah.
I just be like, I'm not chill with people like this that hurt other people and just for their own gain or their own reputation. You know what I mean? Their own reputation. That's not my scene. It just like hurts my gut. Again, it goes with my gut of just like what who I want to be comfortable and be around and who you want to, associate with. And, you want to have
Yeah.
friends that are supportive and that you trust. And now it's like, this girl lies left and right.
To the person that she says she loves and wants to spend her life with. Like,
Yeah,
that
man.
says a lot.
Yes. So maybe that's the half answer we've given you. That's different than telling him versus, you know what I mean? That is kind of part of it. It's just kind of interesting that we all sort of have like a weird answer that's sort of almost the same.
But I feel like if you tell him or someone else tells him, that makes you the villain.
Yeah.
And I would be leery of that, because it's like, no, I'm not the villain. Someone else is. And it needs to be her that needs to either...
Also, it's her story.
It's her story.
She needs to tell her
Yes.
story to him. And because you only know the sort of details of what you know, but at the end of the day, you weren't there with your
No.
friend. You don't know all the
Hopefully.
details. I mean, but and again, I think it's one of those things where I don't think that you're like a jerk for putting up with this as long as you have. Like I said earlier, like I couldn't have a friend like that. But because again, I know when you're younger and things are kind of looser and like we all make mistakes, we're all dumb messes when we're young, or idiots, and we do regrettable things, but
Sure.
now you're older, and more importantly, again, like you said, marriage is an very adult thing to do. You're bringing in a lot of people. You're bringing in potentially religion. You're bringing in someone's what they think is their long-term life with you. Like, that's serious. Mm-hmm. And
I really like the idea of marriage as an adult responsibility, because it is like everything that you have gone through individually, even if you've been going through it together, like while you're dating and while you're engaged, I really do think it's different after marriage. And I'm saying this after going through job loss, my aging grandfather who's not doing very well, car repairs, Karen spending a couple of days in the hospital, and like there have been some really good things too. Like I got my pilot's license. Karen is hopefully due for a raise very soon. But there have been so many really hard things that we've gone through since we got married, and it hasn't been very long.
Yeah.
It's been 127 days, because the countdown that I had on my phone now goes in the opposite direction.
Oh, that's fun.
But I think when you get married, you choose your teammate for everything that you're going to go through. And I think you have to be 100% confident that this person is your person through thick and thin, through everything, and it's not fair to him to make that promise with your fingers crossed behind your back, knowing that you're hurting him, as the bride.
Yeah. Like, do you have my
That's
back?
such a not cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because again,
But
like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, there are going to be times, I mean, inevitably, I mean, Julia, you had a string that came on very early.
Yeah.
But every marriage has stresses, whether it's
Yeah.
money, health issues, complication of whatever kind that comes up. And you need to be able to lean on each other with no doubt in your mind that you are each other's cheerleader and support system. And you're there to really help and with no questions asked. I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, if this is going in already half-assed with tons of lies, really?
Yeah.
Because that whole thing about sickness and health, richer or poorer, better or worse, those aren't abstract concepts. They're very real ways to think about what comes after the wedding. You know, things might be really good, and they will be. And even when things are bad, they're still going to be good again. But things are going to be bad, and things are going to be hard. And you have to be able to be confident that your person is going to be there when the bad things are going on. And to make that promise half-assed is really a crummy thing to do.
Yeah. I feel like things, I mean, inevitably something bad's going to come along, and the only thing that makes it bearable is knowing that you have somebody that's in your corner.
Yeah.
Ugh, girl. I mean, let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be a really interesting follow-up.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I feel very emotional right now.
I
We
know.
ended on an emotional note, man.
We've gone through a lot.
Oh, God. Laughed and cried. Jeez, Pam.
It's better than cats.
It's better than cats. Such a dumb saying.
I know.
Does anyone else know that saying? I laughed, I cried, it was better than cats?
Yes.
Okay, I know it. It's a musical theater nerd
It
thing,
is,
right?
it
Julia,
is.
have you ever heard that before?
It seems like the type of thing that Karen has said. She was in musical theater, and like
Yep.
I just kind of
Nod your head.
You're like, sure,
Yeah.
sure, nerd.
It sounds familiar.
Well, we have gotten through all of our confessionals.
Woo.
God,
Yes.
I need a nap.
I need a drink.
So we're going to go on to bridal breaks?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Bridal breaks, for anyone who's new to the show, are just suggestions we give not only to brides, but anyone who is helping to plan a wedding, of fun things that have nothing to do with weddings that you can enjoy your life, step away from your super stressful RSVP competition with your cousin, your dumb mother-in-law being horrible about your budget, and you just do these things to self-soothe and enjoy your life. Remember that there are fun things out there that have nothing to do with table settings and looking at budgets. Thank God. Pam always gives a drink. I usually give pop culture. Our guests give anything from really cool books to read to, I mean, weed. They give us types of drugs to take, which is more than once.
Yes, it's true.
Pam, what do you have for us this week?
So this one I found on eatdrinkbecozy.com, and it is called the Melted Snowman Martini. And it just sounded, it's a very Pam drink. Vanilla vodka, fireball, rum chata, and half. I mean, come on.
That sounds really fun.
It sounds very sweet and unique. I mean, I'm not really sure how those are all going to like mix together. I mean, the rum chata and the cinnamon fireball, that sounds good. But where's the vanilla vodka? I'm not sure about that. Shake well, sprinkle with some powdered sugar, and throw like snowman candy face. It literally has a snowman's face in the middle of this martini, so it looks like he's all melted except for his head.
Poor guy.
I know.
He's melted.
He did. But I'm going to try this.
That sounds good.
It does sound good.
Julia, what is your bridal break for this week?
Okay, so I realized when I was trying to come up with a bridal break that I don't really do anything relaxing anymore. I'm working like all the time, and when I'm not working, I'm trying to get in my flight training, but you know, the weather's really bad now, so that's a challenge. But I have a recipe to share, and it's really easy and really good. It's for Haupia Pudding, which is a Hawaiian dessert, and I'm from Hawaii, and this is something that I've had since I was little, and it's like I didn't realize you could just make it until probably a couple months ago. So I made some last night, which is why it's on my mind. So it's 1 can of full fat coconut milk,
Okay.
I'm in.
Yep.
4 to 5 tablespoons of sugar, 4 to 5 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 3/4 of a cup of water. So you heat the coconut milk until it's lightly simmering. You mix the water, the coconut, or water, sugar, and cornstarch in a separate cup, and then pour it all in together. And then just kind of like whisk it and let it get thick, and then pour it into like a glass dish and refrigerate it for a couple of hours. And it's like just the most soothing, delicious, sweet treat in the world.
Sounds so good.
So
I
good.
know.
Karen and I accidentally ate almost the entire like thing that makes 16 servings last night.
No one's counting.
It's
It's
delicious.
winter.
You should make it.
You're in cold weather. You're going to get cozy.
That sounds
sounds
so
so
good.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds
And it's
yummy.
so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound really easy.
That sounds really good. So my bridal break for this week is I briefly read about this show. What I was briefly read is that sometimes you read about a show or like a book or something, and the first couple lines you read are so good that you stop reading the article because you want no spoilers. Have you ever done that?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's what happened with this. Was I saw an article about this show called The Bodyguard. So not the Kevin Costner movie with Whitney Houston. This
Right.
is a British series. It was originally, I think, BBC. And it's called The Bodyguard. And the thing that I read about it was it is the most watched thing in England this year. The only thing the only thing that was more watched was the World Cup. So I'm like, ooh, like this was a hit.
Yes.
So it's on Netflix. So I had it in my queue of something that I might like maybe watch at some point, but it seemed sort of intense and like you have to pay attention. So I was like, I don't know, I'm going to get around to this at some point. But then my husband came home and said that he had heard on some NPR station he was listening to, I think it was like Fresh Air or something, but somebody gave a review and they said it was like amazing. So we both like within like days of each other had read really good reviews about this show. So we're like, let's watch it. I want to say it's 6 episodes, 1 hour each. It stars, I think his name is, it's Richard Madden, who is in Game of Thrones as Robb Stark.
Yep.
Who I don't watch Game of Thrones at all, but I Googled his name because I was like, do I know him from anything else? And it's
Cinderella.
Right. And the funny thing is that in Game of Thrones, like he has such a different look because he plays basically a police officer, security person in this show, Bodyguard. So it's like a completely different look for him. It's like clean cut and like shorter hair, and it looks like completely different. But it is heart pounding and interesting, and I have 1 episode left and it is driving me nuts that we can't seem to time it to watch it together, because you know when you start to watch a show with either your significant other or a buddy
to watch together.
and you have to watch it together, and then
That's
it's like
a commitment.
right, and again you almost want to cheat on them because you're just like, God, I want to watch that show, but you're not home yet.
But marriage is an adult responsibility.
It is an adult responsibility, and I can't wait
You
for
have
this
to watch it
podcast to end because I've been told we're going to watch it tonight.
Oh,
So you guys need to get out of my house.
she's cutting it short.
Wrap it up, ladies. No. No, but it's really good, and it's well shot, and every episode is a heart pounding.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, twists and turns. You don't know what's going to happen. Everyone's cool and British and attractive. It's great.
I'm in.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So The Bodyguard, not the Kevin Costner Whitney
Right.
Houston one.
No.
The other one.
Okay.
The British one.
The British
So
one.
yeah, I'm about to finish it tonight. Wish me luck.
All right.
My heart's I'm probably not gonna go to sleep because it's like my heart gets so loud. So that is our bridal breaks.
Yes.
We did it.
Yeah.
Julia.
Aw.
Yay.
Thanks for coming back on.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun to chat with you guys again.
Do you have anything that you want to plug? Do you want to plug your Instagram account?
Sure. I think I've posted like 4 things on it since July, but I'm really trying to like think of more things that I can share because I'm still doing some fun stuff that I don't know, people might like.
Yeah.
So that's Julia Makes a Dress, all one word. And then if I've mentioned like flight training a couple times, and like if you're a pilot, you can't go more than like 8 seconds without mentioning it. So I'll just go ahead and plug my other Instagram account too, which is just my regular personal Instagram, but that's where I post all of my like flying and maintenance pictures.
Cool.
So if you want to see airplane pictures, you can pop on over to Julia Flies. And I did not realize that I had made both of my Instagram accounts like Julia Does a Thing. That was purely by coincidence. And Karen was like, are you building a brand?
I like
No,
it. It's a good brand.
Yeah.
You're active.
Thank
I like
you.
it.
It was just I'm, I guess, consistent. But yeah, so there's my Instagrams. And then we had awesome wedding vendors. And like, I'll post a wedding picture and tag all of the ones that are like on social media so that you can check them out, because we really had some awesome people.
Yes.
That's cool. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
And the cake person.
Yes.
Mhm.
We need to know more about this cake person.
Stacey.
Stacy, yes.
That sounds awesome. So, Pam, now it's the time that we tell everybody about how you can find out more information about our show.
Yes.
We do it in the form of a quiz. I quiz you.
Yes.
We're sitting a little closer together today so that we can chat with Julia and be in the same frame. So I need to angle my clipboard so you can't see it. It's very difficult. This is very hard for me, Pam. Think about me.
Please.
Pamela.
Yes.
We have a website. What is it?
Weddingconfessionals.com.
On that website, you can find show notes.
Yep.
You can also find links to all of our social media. Where are we on social media?
We are all over on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
We are. We're all over all of those.
Yes.
You are doing a good job on Pinterest.
I love
You're
Pinterest.
Very active.
Yes.
New pins, linking things. It's a mystery to me, but I've seen the activity and I love it. Yes, we also want you to send us your confessionals. I mean, the ones that came in today, oof.
Oh my goodness.
Keep the drama coming.
Yes.
I'm kind of living for it. There are 3 different ways you can send us your confessionals. They're always anonymous. The first one is an email. What is our email address?
weddingconfessionals@gmail.com.
You can leave us a voicemail. We just transcribe it. We will not use your actual voice. We will make you sound very cool in print and use our own lovely voices.
Yes.
What is that phone number to leave the voicemail, Pamela?
434-933.
Yes.
4663.
Nope. Gosh, you got so close, guys.
I did.
It is 434-933-2663.
434. I was one number off.
434-933-2663. You got very far there.
I had all of them but one.
All of them but one, but that's critical. You have to get them all right. It's a phone number.
Yes.
The last
True.
way that you can leave a confessional, you don't need to leave us your phone number or leave us an email address. It's very super duper anonymous.
Yeah.
You go to our website, which is
weddingconfessionals.com.
you click on a tab, which is
Tell us your secret.
yeah.
Or your vent or rant or anything.
Yes, tell us your confessional. So from there, you just tell us whatever. Just spill it all out and click send.
Yeah. Super easy.
It's super duper easy. We also want to tell you to go onto iTunes and hit subscribe.
Yep.
Hit 5 stars and give us a fun little review.
Yeah.
We enjoy your creativity.
We do love the reviews.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. It also helps other brides and grooms find our show because their weird algorithm, the ratings really matter to iTunes.
It does.
I know. Apple Podcasts, they're very particular. So besides Apple Podcasts, Pamela, we are on a bunch of different podcast providers.
A bunch.
I have put that list into alphabetical order for my own convenience.
Yes.
Pamela, besides Apple Podcasts in alphabetical order, where can you find our podcast?
Castbox.
Yes.
Castro.
Yes.
Downcast.
Yes.
Google Play.
Yes.
iHeartRadio.
Uh-huh.
Player FM. No, Overcast.
Okay. I'm gonna let you have it. Overcast.
Then Player FM.
Yes.
Pocket Cast.
Yes.
Podbean.
Yes.
I don't know.
3, 2,
Another P1.
1. Pod Paradise.
Pod Paradise.
Podtail, Podcast Addict, Podcast Land, Podcast Republic, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, and YouTube.
Whee!
Pamela, that wasn't so bad. You almost got the phone number.
I know.
You got about half of the podcast providers.
one glass of wine.
I love it. Well, Julia, thank you so much for being on the show. And
Yes,
congratulations
thank
on getting
you.
married.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
So cool. Pammy, I will see you next week.
All right.
Bye.
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 Special thanks to Andy Schreier for our adorable theme song.
And David Kantrowitz for our fantastic logo.
And Ramsey Millette and Brian Maylard for their technical support.
If you want to learn more about our show, where you got to go, Pam?
Check out our website, weddingconfessionals.com.
That's it, girl. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.